Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another StarCraft commentary. This time, Game 3, the final deciding game in the best of 3 series of the MLG Dallas Losers Round 8 action between ATN Socke and Sen. So Fnatic Sen was able to take the first game of this series on Lost Temple, quite a long game, and then on Kulas Ravine, Socke was able to take him down with some great Colossus play. So the map will be Desert Oasis for this third and deciding game. This was Sen's choice, so paying back Socke a little bit with another map which has dropped off of the ladder play. A lot of interesting strategies can happen on this map, especially with these backdoor rocks, making the natural a little bit safer to take, so it could be a Zerg favored map. Looks like we will see a scout coming out for Sen right now, going across the map, as well as for Socke. So the ground distance in this map is just so long between these two bases, so you have to go down the ramp, all the way across the map, and then down the other choke point here, and then up the ramp again. So fast expands are going to be very easy to defend early on. Once the backdoor rocks do go down, becomes a little bit more difficult, but still, to get to this back door you have to go all the way down this path, down this big ramp, so you can't really attack from both areas at once or feign back and forth like you can on Blistering Sands. So a very interesting map, Desert Oasis here. Not really sure why it got dropped off the map pool. There was quite a bit of cheese happening with these destructible rocks, so perhaps Blizzard needs to rethink the map layout just a little bit, but should be some interesting games. Looks like we do have this probe patrolling, gonna try to deny the fast expansion from Sen here. Sen, for his part, is getting up the spawning pool first, so he could have gotten up this expansion before Socke got over here, I believe, but instead decides to go for the spawning pool. Socke did put his first pylon on the left hand side here. Rather than walling off this ramp, he's now going to wall off at this choke point. So throwing up a cybernetics core. This drone just working on this pylon, about to get its shields down, so Socke is going to have to get at least one probe over here to take down the drone so that these buildings don't suddenly become unpowered. We do see a drone now working on this pylon, which Socke threw down to try to block this expansion. Again, attacking a little bit early, as he's now at 300 minerals, and moving out with the first few Zerglings here. 4 Zerglings are going to be able to take this down relatively quickly, and then he will be able to get this expansion up and going. Again, the expansion is going to be quite safe here because of the ground distance. So we now see this probe retreating back, but he's got to know that this expansion is going down as soon as that pylon goes down. So we see a decent wall off. A few zealots are going to be able to wall this off. We do have warp gate tech as well as a stalker coming out as well. A gas steal did happen. The drone, after it got done with that pylon, came over. So just like in the last game, really going to affect the tech which Socke can go for. We saw he went for the blink stalkers last game. So it looks like still just pushing out the one stalker here. It is rallied across the way over to Sen's base, so he may be trying some early aggression here. If we see the first stalker all moving across, and it is going to be able to take down the Zergling. Zergling moving at 2.95 speed, the same as the stalker off creep. So once these Zerglings do get speed, they become a little bit faster, and then on creep they become faster as well. So the Stalker just going to be able to do a lot of damage to the Queen right now. Queen with a range of 7, and the range of 6 for the Stalker, able to hit that Queen. Actually, it is the range of 3 for the ground attack by the Queen there. So now going to be able to take down these Zerglings as long as they stay off creep, really lessening the Zergling numbers. Try not to get a surround here. Socke's going to have to pull back with the Stalkers best he can, and might just have to pull back all the way. Now he's getting a third Stalker up, so going to try to lessen the numbers of Zerglings. Has to pull back the one Stalker so he does not lose it here. His 2 Stalkers very low. He needs to wait until their shields go all the way back up again. But more and more Zerglings having to come out for Sen, as he does have to defend this natural. So we see Socke being very aggressive on this map. Again, the naturals are usually quite safe, but pushing some early stalkers over here, as he has a fourth one on the way, and he did throw down a pylon. So this warp tech was just finished, and he has a number of warp gates coming in. It looks like one for now, with 3 more being built. He did throw down a nexus, which is all the way up at this point. So both players off 2 bases right now. Zergling speed about to finish, so he does get a surround on this stalker, maybe a little bit of a miss rally there, and once this speed finishes, he is going to be able to get a good surround on the remaining stalkers. Looks like Socke is pulling back these stalkers. He can throw down a force field as he is getting the sentry here, has enough energy as soon as it warps in to throw down 1 force field. The earlier you get these sentries, the more and more energy they'll get, and force fields can be quite devastating against the Zerg. Force field's great against all the early Zerg units. Going to be able to protect these stalkers from any sort of Zerglings around. Can really limit the amount of damage roaches can do. With just the 4 range, the force fields can cut the roach numbers in half, really push them back. Same with Hydralisks. So it looks like we're going to have another run by these Zerglings here. No force field this time. Finally moving in some Zealots. So Zealots are the answer to these Zerglings. Going to try to tank for the stalkers and the few sentries out here. So Socke does have quite an army, 850 compared to the 475 of Sen. These Zerglings are just making their way across the map here. So we see creep being spread beautifully between these 2 bases. That's another thing, is these 2 bases are pretty far. So if any sort of air harass comes in, you want to have them connected by creep so you can reinforce with extra queens. We do have 2 queens at the natural, so it looks like 3 queen play, and now some spine crawlers being created by Sen. So as Socke moves across the way here, 1375, now 1750, reinforcing with a few more stalkers, going to try to push in a very strong attack coming from Socke here. These spine crawlers are not going to finish. He has to delay, pushing in with these stalkers, or these Zerglings, trying to get a surround on the stalkers, able to just take down the 1. Few good force fields though, able to split that force of Zerglings. And now blocking his own units with those force fields. He wants to get to the spine crawlers before they pop. Drones being pulled off, as well as a few queens here. All 3 queens coming in. They can use some transfuse. Looks like 1 has at least enough energy for 2 transfuse. We see 1 on the middle spine crawler, 1 on the left spine crawler. So trying to focus down these spine crawlers. 3 spine crawlers still up, and a number of Zerglings, as well as these 3 queens. If we look at the income tab, having to pull off those drones, hurting Sen a little bit, as the income is quite good for Socke right now. Almost 1200 compared to the 1000 for Sen. Moving in, going to try to focus down those spine crawlers. The damage the spine crawlers do to these stalkers can be regen as long as they don't take HP damage, but the damage on the spine crawlers themselves not going to go up too much, so every few shots is going to be valuable from Socke here. These 3 spine crawlers really keeping him at bay. We see the Mutalisk now coming out for Sen. He's got 4, and then 4 on the way with 3 on the field right now. So another spine crawler coming in. Socke could begin working on the back door here. We do have good overlord placement. He's going to be able to see any pressure on the back door rocks. But again, just such a large distance between the front and back doors here. It's not going to be easy for the Protoss player to put pressure on both at the same time. We see the Mutalisks now coming in. A number of Mutalisks were being picked off there, so they might have been just moving, not attack moving, and they were able to be cleaned up quite easily by those stalkers. Now we see a pylon coming in the back here. Overlords did see that, and they are going to move back. They do not want to be picked off by the stalkers being warped in. Looks like still pushing the front door. 4 spine crawlers for Sen right now. Really on the defensive, having to push out a lot of Zerglings. If you look at the worker count, just 38 workers for Sen. So off of 2 bases, you want to be about 50, close to 60 workers off your first 2 bases. Compared to the 49 of Socke, he's got quite the economy going. He's now pushing out Phoenix as well out of these Stargates, so he's going to be able to start picking off not only Overlords, but trying to lessen the number of Mutalisks, which are out on the field right now for Sen. Sen scouting all around for bases as well as pylons. He has not yet found this pylon down here, so very valuable for Socke, as he is going to be able to reinforce either of these attack paths. See the Mutalisk now coming in, trying to take down a pylon here, doing as much damage as he can. These Phoenix are going to come in, do a great job of microing away from these Mutalisks. He wants to try to draw the Mutalisks towards his Stalkers though. Looks like we do have blink done for the Stalkers, so they could blink up here and finish off the Mutalisks. Doing a great job losing the one Phoenix there, but able to take down 3 or 4 Mutalisks, possibly this 4th one here, maybe even this last Mutalisk, but no. Looks like the Phoenix